Austin, very simple. What does it take to become Elvis and to play Elvis?
A lot of work. I basically put the rest of my life on pause for 2 years. I just absorbed everything that I possibly could, and I just went down the rabbit hole of obsession. I broke down his life into periods of time where I could hear the differences in how his voice changed over the years and how his movement changed over the years, and I spent 2 years studying and trying to find his humanity as much as I could through that. Because that's the tricky thing is, you see Elvis as this icon or as the wallpaper of society, finding the way to strip all that away and find the very human nature of him that was deeper than all of that. That's what was fascinating for me. And the ability to get to explore that was just the joy of my life, for sure.
Our own vision of it.
Could you please repeat that question one more time?
The responsibility to the real life characters.
Oh, my responsibility.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's certainly, especially when somebody's still alive, like Priscilla is, and obviously she's here supporting the film, there's always that energy of feeling like they're on your shoulder, constantly watching, and I think you're always going to grapple with whether or not you've illuminated something real and human in them. Absolutely. I think there's a huge responsibility. I think that she is such a key part of this narrative and such a key part of his legacy, especially today. Everything that she's done, obviously, since they parted their ways is such a testament to their love. And absolutely, there's a responsibility. And the fact that she's happy and supporting the film here, it means the world. Yeah.
The world of Baz is visually crazy. I mean, we it's like all of them, everywhere. But what does that mean for you guys as actors?
I think it's a super big pleasure being a part of his world because it's so powerful, and it's so spiritual, and it's gravitating and ascending. So when I first met Baz, it's kind of like I got sucked into that vortex, and I think as an actor, you should surrender to it, surrender to that feeling. I grew up in Arizona, and I have a soul tie to the southern state because I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana on my dad's side. So I think developing that world and creating that ambiance with the film really resonated with me on a spiritual level.
We owe Alton a huge thanks, because his performance as Little Richard allowed the audience to applaud the musical numbers. The first applause in the movie came from Little Richard. Rightly so. Rightly so.
And to answer your question about the most challenging part about it, it's such a tricky thing because when I first started, I had this I put these unrealistic expectations on myself that somehow, if I worked hard enough, I could make my face identical to Elvis's face. And that my eyes would look exactly like Elvis's eyes, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And I realized that at a certain point, that becomes like going to the wax museum. And what is really important is that his soul comes out. And so just like I was saying about stripping everything away, it was finding the balance between getting as specific as I possibly could, and that meant just endless research. I would watch one clip of, just to take an example, Milton Berle Hound Dog. I'd watch 1 second of this clip over and over and over and look at what his eyes were doing, look at the angle of his head, look at what his hand was doing, and try to find it exactly and practice that until it was in my marrow. And then the tricky thing is being able to be there on the day and have it feel like it's happening for the first time, and that it's spontaneous and it's actually alive. And the reason why he moved in that way and why he spoke in that way, and that meant finding his inner being. But then it's like spinning plates because you want to go back to the specifics. And so is this constant back and forth. And I know even watching, somebody asked me yesterday, did you watch playback when we were filming? And I said there were certain moments like watching Hound Dog where we did one take and then I went back and I watched it and I thought,
what's wrong?
Oh, what's wrong?
Yeah.
I'm doing too much. And so then strip it back and try to get to the point where you have to get through the nerves of it and then just feel the life. Yeah, so like you say, I mean, Baz read Priscilla's text message to me when we were driving to dinner, just the two of us in the car, and it just brought tears to my eyes because there's never been a person who I've never met that I've loved more than Elvis. You know, I've lived with him now for it's 3 years. So the feeling of doing him justice to his legacy, and really bring life to this extraordinary man, and to make Lisa Marie and Priscilla and Riley and the entire family proud, that I could not be more overjoyed, and I just feel over the moon about that. Thank you.